Well, greetings and welcome to the newly renamed Love Them Ganzos channel. Ganzo Firebird. Yeah, I love these knives. They are beautiful. And they're so affordable. Yes, that's what I like about them. They're affordable, but I mean, okay, start from ground zero. Says Firebird here because that's the name they're using on these. And I heard somewhere that's kind of what they were doing for their USA branding type deal. So it's made by Ganzo knives out of China, 440C steel on these knives. They don't use 440C on every knife, but most of these they do. And you can look on the Ganzo site. They will tell you the different steels that they use on the different knives they have. This is a 761 series. And so 761 as opposed to, the other models that they've had, the 727s and 720s and all the different models, but 761. Now, if you look at the actual model number on the box, this being green, is 7611. So the one stands for probably stainless here, the last one. So it's a 761. The one here probably stands for stainless. I mean, satin grind as opposed to stainless steel. Yes, they are stainless steel. A satin grind as opposed to maybe a stonewash blade, that kind of thing, or blackened blade. And then the GR stands for green. So when you have the camo one, the CA is for camo. I got these from Power Cutlery, which I would recommend because they're a USA seller. You want to support your USA seller of Chinese knives. These are nice. I really like the design. When I saw these come out, I go, yes, I must have them. And now I do, thanks to Power Cutlery. But I just checked today and they're out of stock of Power Cutlery. I mean, I don't think they got a 761 in stock of it. Black, green, camo, nothing. I haven't seen one of these in carbon fiber yet, but it's got to be coming down the road. And that would be a good thing. That would be a good thing. Take a look at the back spacer on this green one. Okay, nice to have that. Full stainless liners, and you can see they've, when they first started out with the Ganzo before Firebird was a brand, they didn't have these skeletonized, but they do now. See the liners skeletonized on both sides, that kind of thing. So that helps with the weight. It's a little extra work, but it helps with the weight. Kind of bumps it up a little bit in class there. And all these blue screws, so that's cool. I like that. I mean, it's not that they're, you can anodize steel. These are steel. These are not titanium. But in any case, yes, I like the blade shape on here. There's no recurve or anything. It's not complicated. There's a little bit of a choil here, not much. Don't know. Haven't had one of these on my sharpening system, so don't know about that, but I think they'll be fine. And I don't think you're really going to have to worry about the thumb stud interfering coming this far around. You have plenty of blade stock here, so this tip is not too fragile. Piercing, yep. Slicing, really nice high grind here. So yeah, you got a swedge ground in top. You've got a thumb ramp here with jimping. That's good. That feels good. Pocket clips are always comfortable on these knives. They go in the pocket really nice. And you got enough screws holding that thing down? I think that's all the screws they could get in there side by side, damn near touching, right? Ooh, so you can go left hand. So that's really nice. There's a lot of lefties going, where are we in this mix? Well, Ganzo's got you covered here. Like the design. I like this going on here. I like this handle design. It's really cool. This is grippy here. It's not like real hard sandpapery, but it's reasonably aggressive. It's reasonably aggressive. You can feel it, you know? And you got this front choil. You got that separating the rest of your fingers here. Little bit of a palm swell up here. Kind of fit right in there. And it does feel comfortable in the hand. You know, the pocket clip doesn't go like this. It kind of lays back over a little bit. So that, it just kind of depends on where your hand hits that. My hand, it hits between this finger and this finger, the end of this pocket clip. So it doesn't really present a hot spot for me. And you can go forward like this. You obviously can't move beyond this front choil here. But yeah, nice. The action on these is a different conversation. They're flickable. And I mean, here's the news flash on these, folks. And that's the deal. The news flash on these is that they are not, I repeat, they are not like the 760. The 760, look at that. You know why? Because they got ball bearings. They got ball bearings. And I figured the 761, what a wonderful design. Oh my God, these things have got, I'm sure they do, right? It's 760, the next deck, 761. Of course they're going to go forward with ball bearings, right? Wrong. Wow. Really, that hurt my feelings. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just... And there was a viewer going, oh, like this, have you seen the 761? I go, yeah, I got two of them. And he goes, I got two on order. I go, they don't have bearings. He goes, oh, crap. Really? Are you kidding me? Yeah, I know. I was hoping. This is Power Cutlery. I'll put the link to this because, you know, you don't know when these are going to be back in stock. And as opposed to waiting 2 weeks from, you know, China, it's preferable. I mean, obviously, here's your overall length, about 8 inches, about 3.5 on the blade length. Here's your rest of your specs. 440C drop point, flat grind, satin. Your handle length, handle thickness. That seems awful thick for handle thickness. I don't know if I'm going to go with that. 4.3 ounces. Tip up, and there you go. There's your model number. Took it apart. Yeah. Took it apart. There you go. The typical old school, you know, the nylon or Teflon, whatever it is, washer on one side and the bronze one on the other. Really, really, dude. Of course, you got these little things that click in here, and then this, when this is up here, this clips into this little area here. And this gives you your G-lock deal. It goes that way on both sides. If you want to disassemble these, you really got to take, since these are the liners and you can see how they're skeletonized, but if you want to disassemble them, you got to take, you know, the scale off, then expose the liner. And you got to do that on both sides because these liners will interfere with this ability to go down and access this opened area here where you can push this through and separate the liners and get everything apart. So actually, since the scale stops this thing from going down into this area, you got to take the scales off from both sides, push that whole thing down, then you can slide that on through after you disconnect from one side on your spring. And then the other one can stay attached to its spring, or you can take the spring off. It's no big deal. This little end goes there. This end pops up against here once you get it up here. It's fine. But you just got to remember, reassemble in the same, reverse order. Because you can't start putting your outer scales on until you get these two liners together with this. So in any case, I took it apart just because I wanted to see if they had bearings, because I'm going, it don't feel like bearings. It feels like the old school stuff. And man, I don't know. I was just disappointed because these were so much fun, right? I mean, look at this. I mean, these things are crazy, right? Next, hold on. Let me show you. Like I'm saying, right? The 760. Love the design of these. This is the carbon fiber one. Like it a lot. Cool knives. But you know, come on, man. These are really cool, but they don't have that. They don't have that kind of, you know, I mean, you can flick them. They're workable, but you know, you get spoiled on the bearings and you go, why aren't you going forward with these? I mean, obviously, if you can do the 760 and put bearings on them and charge the same amount of money, why aren't you going forward with that? Oh, well. Okay, so you got not quite 3.5, not quite 90 millimeters on the blade length. 87, 88 millimeters. And then just about 8 inches. Which is just a little over 20 centimeters. Okay, overall. So it's a pretty good EDCable size knife, right? So you got this, and if you lay them out, really look at them without the camera kind of interfering with the aspect ratio, they're the same size as the Mtech. Okay, reverse it. Mtech is gonna look a little bit smaller, but it's not really. It's the same size. So, where we got Hollywood? Come here. So, there you go again. There's your Para 2. Just about the exact same size. So that gives you an idea right there. You can reverse this. It'll make the Ganzo look a little smaller. But in reality, they're about exactly the same size. And they shouldn't be too bad as far as weight goes. Let's get these 760 knives out of the way. Unfortunately, oh man, it was too bad. Just wanted these to be bearings so bad. And we're getting washed out here, folks. Okay, let's see this. 4.3 ounces. So 123 grams, 4.3. That's not bad. And, well, they ought to both be the same, right? Yeah, pretty close. Okay. In any case, the camo one has a black back spacer. They've got lanyard holes, and they're tubed through the back spacer, as you can see. This one's centered up just perfect. I think this one's a little off. I think this one's just a little off. And this is the one I think I took apart. So, yeah, that could be part of it. I'm not willing to, tighten down on the pivot as hard as it came. And that may be something you may consider if you think the action's a little stiff on these. I mean, not this kind of action of this G-lock, but I mean, if you think this blade is too stiff, because, see, I mean, it should be able to do things like that pretty easily. So I'll get in there and play with it. Make sure it doesn't have blade play, which this doesn't, but that it's not overly stiff, because you can crank down on this and you can make this almost unopenable. I mean, so you can do that. So you want to keep it flickable. You just don't want blade play. You don't want it too far off, and that's just a skosh. That's not too bad. So I can live with that as a compromise with the action. This one has pretty good action, and didn't have to compromise on the centering on this one. This one's perfect. That's probably because the factory actually got this one together. I don't know. Some of these will have better action than others. And if you've had a lot of Ganzos, you know that they vary from one to another. They can be different. They really can. Check it out. Backside, pocket clip, goes right past the center as far as the length. Backspacer, textured, and it is above grade. You can feel that. Jimping along the top, you can feel that. Presentation side, available holes for the pocket clip. Okay. Blued hardware. Just, I don't know, guys. And here's something else. I'm going to throw this in. I know this is totally, in a way, irrelevant to this particular model. But I got this just recently. Elite Tactical. Okay, that's part of that Mtech knives, master cutlery, all that kind of stuff, right? And they're out of New Jersey. Ball bearings. So I heard from one of the distributors of these knives that the Mtech people came to him and says, hey, we're upgrading our Elite Tactical series. We're putting bearings in there, and we're putting 8CR13 MOV steel on here. As opposed to what, I don't know. I really haven't been keeping up with the Mtech line and stuff. I've just never really been into them. I've had Mtech knives before, but I've not been really immersed in what's going on with them. But look at this knife. I just wanted to bring this to your attention for a reason. Take a look at it. Blued hardware. Got a G-lock. Is it starting to occur to you? Backspacer. Pocket clip rolled over like, You know, I'm just saying, this is really a deep carry. This is pretty cool, actually. And, you know, since these now have got, ball bearings, guess what? Now, who do you think makes this? It's somebody in China. 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. And look at that. Look at the thumb studs on here. Pretty close. Pretty close. It might line up with a different. Let me see if we can do. Well, okay. Look at them. This is a different model. This is the 7501 750. Look at that. Come on, man. Break it down. You know what this is. This is a Ganzo with bearings. So if you want a Ganzo with bearings and you want to get one like in a few days instead of weeks, check it out. These are the 1024. So I got a couple of these, one with a regular blade and this one with the Tanto, but I just thought, who's got bearings? But it's really strange. They didn't go 440. It's an 8CR13. And then these are 440. So these are going to be a bit more pricey because they're going through American company and they're, you know, obviously OEM subcontracted. I'm saying through Ganzo. I don't think that's a huge leap. Do you think that's a huge leap? One more thing and I'll get back to my thing. Yeah, look at the scales. Oh, come on, man. I just had to do this to you. I'm getting it out of here. Okay, never mind. Back to the 761s, which are pretty knives. I like it, but god dang it. What's the matter with these people? Man, if these had bearings in them, I think I would be so stoked. I would be so stoked. And, you know, and they're livable. I mean, that's not that bad, right? I know it's not that bad. So you break it loose. But see, it's not gonna, you know, there's no It's not going to play back and forth. See what I'm saying? I mean, it's flickable, but it's not like the bearings, unfortunately. Not like the bearings. You know? But, now I'm spoiled. See, I was so happy with the Ganzo Firebird stuff, and I was fine with this. I was fine with the G-lock and the bushings, and it flicks open and all that stuff. Now, man, it kind of spoiled it for me. It really did. It kind of spoiled it for me when this started hanging around. Wow. I don't know. See, I'm going to bitch and moan. I've gone 20 minutes bitching and moaning. Good looking knives, though. Really like the design. And you know what? These are beaters. These are hard use knives. Come here. Give me a piece of paper. I mean, these things ought to cut. Yeah. So they're nice and sharp. I mean, at least, yeah. See, good user knives right out of the box. I like them for that. You know, I've heard people bitch and moan, oh, a screw shredded on me or whatever. You know, here's the deal. And I know, here's another recommendation I'm going to give to you. Don't take them apart if you don't need to. I know, I'm now aware of some people that every time they get a knife, they tear it apart, wipe it down, blow it out, re-lube it, put it back together. I wouldn't recommend that on these budget beater knives. I really wouldn't, because yes, this screw may just screw into this, but it may screw into this backspacer or into something that goes through it. And yes, I have had some of these where it has been stripped, and then I've had to kind of pry and get resistance so that when I unscrew it, it will come up because it's stripped through there. So it will come back. If you pry a little screwdriver in there and you put enough pressure on it, it'll lift as you unscrew it, even if it's stripped. You could do that. But the thing, and you put it back in, then it's not going to tighten right down as far as it should because it's stripped. I just don't take them apart. I don't. I did for that illustration, but I'll tell you what, no, not on these. I mean, if it's a good high dollar expensive knife, you should never have a problem. And if you do, return it, to the manufacturer and say, this is wrong. It's a $250, $300 knife. But when it's a $15, $17 knife, whatever, $20, I wouldn't push my luck. What's the point? And if all the screws come out, fine. And most of the time they do, okay. Luck of the Irish to you, God bless you and all that, but why? I mean, if it's reasonably good and it's centered and the actions is probably as reasonable and decent as it's going to be, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Go with it. Go with it. Just cross your fingers and keep going. And you know what? These I have heard from people who've used these for well over a year, hard usage, and they're staying together just fine. I know that there was another reviewer on YouTube that said he had one and it started to develop some play and stuff, and then he just really felt it was a disappointing situation. And it's like, dude, it's a $15 knife. It's cheaper than a lot of gas station knives. It's 440C steel, and if you used it hard for a year, you ought to get on your knees and thank God it lasted that long. I mean, they're throwaway knives at some point in time. I mean, they're not lifetime warranty. So I don't know. I mean, that's just my response is like, come on. I mean, if you get some good hard use out of them, you got your money's worth. And I've had some for like this dog for quite a while. Oh yeah, I transformed this over a year ago. And it's fine. It's good as gold. Of course, I'm not out beating it every day, but I mean, I use my knives appropriately. They're folding knives. They're not fixed blades. In any case, I'll quit cussing at you. Good knives. Like these, don't you? I like this design. It's killer. Fits the hand well. They're just right EDC size. So it's good amount of blade. They're sharp. Good high grind. Good for slicing. Can go piercing. Not a problem. Yeah, they got a backspacer in them. Lanyard hole. Left or right hand. Tip up. And, you know, no, they don't have bearings. But they're $19. They're $19. I'm liking them. I don't know about you, but I'm all good with it. So, do I recommend this knife? Hell yeah. Of course I do. I mean, I'll get over it. It still flicks pretty good. I mean, you know, it's quick enough in the hand. Do you need a play toy? Well, if you do, all I got to say is get you one of these. Because, yeah, the swinging gate. Let's hope they go forward with bearings in the future on their other models. Don't know. Ganzo, if you're listening, keep the bearings. And don't lose your bearings. In any case, thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, you know what we do on this channel. And follow me on Instagram, by the way. Keep up with our Trader's Corner. It's going to happen monthly. It's already one that's been issued on the 10th of November. And it's going forward with that. Table sales, pass around group on the knives. You know, we got a lot of activities going on because you know what we do on this channel. We love them knives, so stay sharp.